Hallie Biden took to the witness stand today to testify in Hunter Biden's federal gun trial.
The president's son is accused of buying a gun while abusing drugs. He's pleaded not guilty to those charges. Hallie Biden is testifying in this case because she was dating Hunter Biden at the time of the firearm purchase. She's the widow of Hunter Biden's late brother, Beau.
CBS News congressional correspondent Scott MacFarlane is outside of the courthouse in Wilmington, Delaware. Scott, let's start off. This is obviously personal. It is part of the Biden family. Tell us about her testimony in court and the effect that it may have.
This is the prosecution's star witness, so it's no surprise the jury is sitting alert with rapt attention as Hallie Biden speaks. They began this process, this testimony, by resetting the peculiar nature of this relationship, that Hallie Biden was Beau Biden's widow, that she and Hunter Biden began a romantic relationship soon after Beau Biden's death, and that romantic relationship was still underway during the pivotal period of time in this case, October 2018. That's when, according to prosecutors, Hunter Biden knowingly possessed a gun while being a drug user and made false statements on the forms to get that gun. He's pleaded not guilty, and he was sitting alert as Hallie Biden detailed this sequence of events in mid-October 2018 when she says she found the gun while searching his car to ensure there were no drugs or booze in there. She said she found the gun, and in her words, "I didn't want him to hurt himself with it or the kids to find it and hurt themselves." She considered hiding it, she said, but was afraid one of her children would find it if she hid it. So she took it to a grocery store in Wilmington, Delaware, and threw it in a dumpster. In her words during her testimony, "I realize it was a stupid idea now, but I was panicking." The prosecution during this testimony showed surveillance video clips of Hallie Biden's car entering that grocery store parking lot, her getting out of the car with the gun in a grocery bag in hand. They also showed video of her sometime later that same day in October 2018 going back to the parking lot, back to the grocery store, trying to find the gun she discarded, and also some footage of her in the store at one point. This is all critical for prosecutors because they're trying to make this case that not only was Hunter Biden somebody who should not have had a gun, but that he knew he was a drug user or drug addict when he had the gun.
What then, Scott? You know, all of this just sounds so personal and uncomfortable, and it's a description of someone spiraling. What is next for the prosecution? Are we expecting to hear from anyone else, considering Hallie was really the star witness?
Errol, they're going through some of the text messages back and forth between Hallie Biden and Hunter Biden, the ones they exchanged through the course of October 2018 and after the disposal of that gun. And one of the text messages that jumped out at me is when Hunter Biden, according to prosecutors, text messaged Hallie to say, "It's hard to believe anybody is that stupid. Who in their right mind would trust you?" That was the response from Hunter once the gun was discarded. And Hallie Biden responded, according to prosecutors, "You run away like a child and blame me." This is the set of exchanges prosecutors are trying to lean into when explaining and arguing that they say Hunter Biden knew he was a drug user when he had the gun. There'll be a cross-examination at some point mid-afternoon to late afternoon here in Wilmington, but we can already get a sense from the cross-examinations of previous witnesses, Errol, that they're going to say Hunter Biden didn't know he was a user when he filled out the form, and that he may have thought it was a historic reference, not a current reference to his drug use.
All right, we appreciate that insight. Scott MacFarlane, thank you very much.
Is with the charges, Your Honor, yes.
No, I'm looking at his
Yes.
record. He doesn't have a license. He's suspended and he's just driving.
That is correct, Your Honor.
I don't even know why he would do that. So defendant's bond is revoked in this matter. Defendant is to turn himself into the Washington County Jail by 6 p.m. today. Failure to turn himself in will result in a bench warrant with no bond. People are saying, and quite frankly, your client has made the assertion that the Pittsfield Township, as well as this court, was acting on some type of defective or faulty information, which I will tell you, counsel, caused the court, given what the court did, to investigate what my ruling was. With any reference to your client having had a license on that day, and some indication or misunderstanding as to whether or not he had a license. Let me make it very clear, based upon what the court looked at, he has never had a Michigan license, ever, and has never had a license in the other 49 states and commonwealths that form up this great union. Mr. Harris indicated that at some point he had been involved in some accident. And being involved into the accident, that he was basically bedridden or at least housebound, he could not get to the Secretary of State. He purposely stated that he could not get to the Secretary of State, which, for the way we handle things in this court, would have placed him in a whole different category. We would have tried to find a way, let's figure it out. And the reason I know that is because Mr. Harris, on December 28th of 2023, do you know where you were?
December 28th, 23.
23rd.
2023.
I know I was laid up from our accident.
You were at the Secretary of State's office. And you were at the Secretary of State's office because you
So the Political Action Committee, led by former Republican Congresswoman Liz Cheney, is out with a new ad commemorating the 80th anniversary of D-Day and calling for a president driven by a noble purpose. Morning Joe has an exclusive first look.
On June 6, 1944, President Roosevelt addressed the nation with a prayer for the troops landing on the beaches at Normandy.
Almighty God, our sons, pride of our nation, this day have set upon a mighty endeavor. They fight to end conquest. They fight to liberate. They fight to let justice arise and tolerance and goodwill among all thy people.
These men came here, British and our other allies, Americans, to storm these beaches for one purpose only: not to gain anything for ourselves, not to fulfill any ambitions that America had for conquest, but just to preserve freedom, systems of self-government in the world. Many thousands of men have died for ideals such as these.
One's country is worth dying for, and democracy is worth dying for because it's the most deeply honorable form of government ever devised by man. All of you loved liberty. All of you were willing to fight tyranny, and you knew the people of your countries were behind you.
Today we give thanks for all that was gained on the beaches of Normandy. We remember what was lost with respect, admiration, and love. This freedom and these hopes are what the heroes of D-Day fought and died for.
America deserves a president as good and steadfast as our nation, a president of character, driven by a noble purpose, one who honors the sacrifices of our troops, not a man consumed by spite, revenge, and self-pity.
Also developing this evening, a major headline in the Georgia election interference case against former President Trump. Hallie Jackson joins us now. Hallie, an appeals court stepping in here today.
That's right, Lester. They're pressing pause on the case altogether until a panel of judges decides whether the Fulton County District Attorney, Fani Willis, should be allowed to continue prosecuting this. Now, a lower court has already said yes, but Mr. Trump's team appealed, arguing she should be disqualified because of a conflict of interest, which Willis denies, over a romantic relationship with an attorney she hired to handle the case. Now, here's the most immediate impact, the timeline. There is just no practical way that this would get to a trial now before November's election. So that's perhaps a political win, if not a legal one yet for Mr. Trump, Lester.
And Hallie, we're also learning more tonight about Mr. Trump's search for a running mate. What do we know?
It's picking up steam with some potential VP candidates getting vetting materials, according to 5 people familiar with the process. 2 sources say Ohio Senator J.D. Vance, North Dakota Governor Doug Burgum, and Florida Senator